Hello and welcome to Morten's Corner. Today we're going to talk about versioning and change management using metadata. So in the scope of today, we'll discuss about how you can incorporate change management and versioning using metadata in all your formats. And in ClickLearn, what you want to do is you want to go to your project settings. Then we'll come down to metadata. And then we'll go ahead and enable all these. Description will allow you to add long titles, for example, and as a description for your recordings. HTML is regarding search words and stuff. So let's say you want to add a search words to your content, which is not part of the body or the text or anything, but if people search using that specific word, it'll pop up suggesting that specific article. Then you have all the document, and the document is what you probably recognize from SOPs and stuff like that. Let's get to it. So once you've got that set, you can go into your recording. Then now you'll have a button available up here, which is called Metadata Properties. And here are the three metadata parts we added. If this is filled out, instead of using the file name you see over here, it will use this title instead, which can be longer, right? So instead of 32 characters, you can now use 72 characters. It's quite nice, especially if you've been cutting down your titles because they were too long and you'd be using some kind of abbreviations and stuff like that, or if you imported use from another project or from Classic, or for whatever reason your file names might be weird or short or something, you can use this alt title to make a long, nice title. So yeah, it's a nice one. Brief search words, here you go. If you typed some word in here, it will pop up when you search. But today is going to be about metadata in terms of change management. So specifically here, you can use these in any way you see fit. So you could use this process for an author, for example, or something like that. You can use these as you want. You don't have to type the process here. You can use this as something else if you have something else you want to use as a metadata field across all your recordings. Today, what I'd like to just discuss is pretty basic, really. I want to talk about the revision. I'm going to put a revision number in here. And I'm going to put a date in here as well. So let's save that. So now that I have some stuff here called a revision and a revision date, I want to use that in my documentation. So let's go ahead and close the metadata properties tab, and then let's make a new text block up here. In the text block, I want to type something, and I want to type, let's see here, revision, and then we have a revision date. Now, I can use the metadata reference tags down here. So you have alt, title, description, keywords. These are all the metadata tags we added. So I'm going to automatically update this recording with the metadata tag. So if I later on update this recording and then update the metadata for it, this part of the recording will automatically update. Let's go ahead and add the revision number in here now. Revision. And down here we're going to have the date. There we go. Save changes. So in this document now, I'll have up top, I'll see which revision and which revision date we have here. So yeah, that's how that works. For change management, I'd like to know, hey, what's up? What's new with this recording? So what I'll have down here in the very bottom, I want to have an extra text block down here. And I want to have, this should be a change log. Let's call it that. And we can say, we can say revision 1.2. We can say revision 1.1, 0. All right, so now we have whatever the changes are between the versions. Oops, that should be in the bottom, right? So there we go. So the last part of my document will be, you know, what's new in these different changes. So that's how that will look. The cool thing about this is that it's written directly into the content. It's available everywhere that I publish. So this will also come into Word and PDF without me even having to use metadata in Word and PDF, for example. So yeah, because it's written directly in from the code that we added in our text block, right? Using these here, so the tags for the metadata. So that's quite handy. That way you don't have to mess around with the tags, the metadata properties in the Word and the PowerPoint, for example. So yeah, just briefly a way to how you can kind of keep track on what's going on. Let's go ahead and produce this, and let's see how it looks when it's final. Yeah, because there is a way, sorry, that you can see this on the web part as well. So let's go ahead and publish it. All right, it's now complete. Let's go ahead and publish that. So as you can see, our metadata up here with the revision date and the revision number. And in the bottom, of course, we have our change log, right? Now, likely when I view the video, I wouldn't want for all this to be read out, or let's say I don't. So you can actually exclude that in some of the formats. Probably I would want this in the written versions, but not in the videos, for example, or the assist for that matter. There's no reason the assist should go through this unless you have a specific reason that you feel the assist should do that, for example. But let's go fix that. So I'm gonna open up this. And what I'll do is I'll click on my change log that we added, and then the little I up here called inclusion options. And then of course I can choose that, hey, I don't want it in the video and I don't want it for the assist. I just want it in the written material, right? Let's go ahead and save that. So yeah, now that is not available in those formats. So yeah, that's how that works. I think it's a good way to kind of keep track on what's going on. You can of course also take it a step further, right? And you can fill in stuff like who approved this document, who wrote it, who edited it, is it part of a specific process, is it part of a specific sub process or a generalized area, like HR, and then you have your hiring process or your your recruiting process or whatever you have. You can also add the statuses and stuff like that. So you can use, it's pretty nice for for tracking like the kind of the audit part of a document and who's responsible and where are we with this document specifically. So yeah. Now there is another way to check versions, and that is out here. That is not to be confused with a revision, right? Because we had a revision in our notes, but now we're going to talk about versions. So if you click on the column chooser here, you can say that you want to see these specific things, right? You could say you want to see the revision number, but also we want to see the version number, just to be just not to confuse anyone. So the version number increments every time I save the recording, then that increments. Now, of course, I can edit this recording many times before I think it's due to make a new revision and add to my changelog and all that. So these two are disconnected. That's by design. They're not connected together. And that's simply because, yeah, you may need to edit this document 100 times before you make a new revision, right? So yeah, that's how that goes. Yeah. Let's just quickly check one of the formats here. Let's check the PDF. Yeah, so here you have the revision and the revision date again, and that's just top to the bottom here. And then you have the changelog down here, right? So that's how it looks. If I saw this was split in 2 pages before finalizing it, when I was done with all my editing, I probably would force it to be on its own page. But that we can always look at. So, yeah. Let's talk shortly about metadata for Word and PDF. So let me just open the Word. So in Word, you also have metadata. This is fine. I can have this stuff here and I can have this here like we did in our written instruction. But if I in general want it, let's say I in general want it in the footer somewhere. In the footer, I'd always want, for example, instead of the page numbers or instead of the date, I'd want the revision here. I can say, okay, I want the revision. Let's go have a look at what the revision number is. So go to Info, Properties, Advanced Properties. Then we go to Custom. And now you'll see all our metadata tags out here, right? Even the number of steps. Everything is here. You see it's pre-filled because this is a produced document. I could also create a template, general Word template, and use that for my project where I have filled out placeholders for the revision number, for the revision date, or for whatever else I'd want, right? I could even make like a cover page with a bunch of details on it, like the process and who wrote it and who approved it, stuff like that, whatever. Whatever you want to build, you can do it. Let's just do this, revision number, let's do that. So I'm down here, I wrote revision, I want a revision number here. So I'm gonna go to insert, and then I need to add a part. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. Quick parts, document property, no, field, we want a quick part field, that's what we want. And then we go down and say document property. And now we select the CL ref date. There we go. I accidentally selected date. That's fine. You get the idea. So now we have a revision date, which is pulled from the metadata, right? As you can see, this date is the date I produced the document. This date is the date it was revised, right? So that's how they differ. Yeah, you could build a template with these things. So let's just go back here and have a look really quick about how it's being written. Let's see here. CL rev dates, I think it's called. Yeah. And then we have CL revision all typed out. Let's go add that to our template real quick. Let's see how we could build a template around this instead. One sec. You'll find Word. And let's go download the template. So we were down here, edit the footer. We're gonna say, right, gonna have a revision date there, and then we will have the revision after. Okay. Oh, okay. They're already in here. The reason we're already in here is because I added the metadata. So when you download the template to edit it, be sure you do it after you enable the metadata, or otherwise it's not going to be part of the template. And then you have to create it yourself, which takes a while. But I mean, you only have to do this once, so that should work, right? All right, insert, quick parts field, document property, and we're doing revision date. So let's go find that. CL ref date, boom, and the revision. Same thing, quick part field and document property, CL revision. CL revision. There we go. Bold these just so they pop a bit more. All right. If I save this template and produce it, we'll see what happens. Save. All right. Let's go ahead and upload that. Save changes. And let's produce again. All right, let's continue here and publish it. Cool. So in the Word file, you'll now see, same as before, of course, because that's part of our note. But if you go to the footer, oh, it's not updated. All right. Let me just see what's going on here. Ah, here we go. It was the cache. It is there. Look, it was just my browser cache. So in the footer, you now see revision date and revision. This is pretty crammed. I would probably either do this in 2 lines or make a table for it or something that looks nice. I mean, it's just to show you how to throw it in there. I've seen people that have tables with like the process, the author, the approver, revision date, and maybe they'll have this. They would have a document for each of their languages, right? So they have one in French, one in Spanish, one in English, one in German, for example. Where of course revision date is then written in Spanish, which I do not speak, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, that's how you could mess with it. Same is possible in the PowerPoint. It might not be used as much to pop it in there, but it is definitely possible. Let me just show you since we're here. Let us grab the PowerPoint. Yep. So it has a slide with this stuff, and I think in the very end, it's going to have the slide with the changelog. It looks pretty nice. If you wanted to use any of the metadata in here, you can do that too. Let's just grab the template down and let's see how to work with that. There we go. Select custom theme. download the default template. We will call this PowerPoint template. Let's make a new slide here. I want it before the step. So here we'll say name. And down here we'll have revision and revision date. So you have to make new text boxes. You're not allowed to put metadata tags in the same lines as other text in PowerPoint. It doesn't like that. You have to use another box. So I'm just gonna type. Let's see. I'm gonna steal some text here because I need the formatting. Copy. And we'll paste it somewhere. Oh, that didn't work. Doesn't matter. So here you'll type M for metadata, and then CL MCL revision, right? There we go. And down here we'll have, oops. We'll have rev date. And then I just want the formatting, make it look nice. There we go. So that's what we want. Let's save this. Put the template in here. Save the changes and let's produce again. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and see how our template looks now. So now we have a slide that has a revision date. I think, I miss an I here. That would have fixed it. I need an I here, right? Enable editing. Then that would have fixed it. I can't spell apparently, but that's fine. Basically that's how it will look. So you can have like if you wanted like, let's call it a cover slide, which has some info about, revision date, and maybe the author, the approver, or which process this slide is part of, stuff like that, right? You could have a tag for confidential, yes or no, for example, down here, right? So if it was, which classification it had. You could say, internal or public or whatever, classified. If you want stuff like that, you're free to do whatever you want. This is how you do it. So yeah, good stuff. There is one more thing I'd like to touch upon, and that is the ability to make this part of your generalized template. So let's have a look at that. In your language settings of your template, you can go here. And what you want to do is that you'll come into process instruction, expand that. Now this only works for new recordings. You can't plaster this into your existing recordings. What you can instead do is that if you did what I just did, where you add a note with a text block with the revision information up top, and then a note down the bottom with the revision change log, then you can just copy paste that between all your recordings. That's fine. But if you wanted to apply this to new recordings, you could say, okay, well, in all new recordings, in the start, before the new recording steps, I want a node. Here you can define languages too, right? I have a video about it. I'll leave a link to it up here somewhere that describes how this works in more detail. But for now, a node. And now we want the node to say yeah, I think that's how you do it. So we want the node to say revision date. And then we want space, and we want revision. I want that in bold, please. I want that in bold. And then I want with the I this time, right? I think that's how you do it. Let's try. And of course, in the end, I could have another note down here saying change log. Let's make that while we're at it. Let's see if this is correct. Make a new recording. So in the bottom, after the step, there is changelog. Before it, I think I made a mistake. Let me just correct that. All right. I added a percentage sign too much. We only need one when it's in the template, of course, because all the template references are with one percentage sign. So process instruction. This is how it looks right now. When I make a new recording, it's going to apply this before any steps, and it will apply this after any steps. Okay, let's try it out. Make a new recording. And you can kind of already see it waiting here, right? It's waiting up here. Let's just record a step. And now start the editor. You see that these fields are pre-filled. Right, there we go. So they're ready. Now, of course, I need to fill them out because this is a brand new recording, right? So if I go in here and say this is revision 1.0 and the date is today. And you'll see they're updated. Save changes, and then we can see them now. So this is also a way to work with it, of course. This will help people remember that it's supposed to be there. You can also use this for other things, like I said, but then what's the other video for that? You can have all kinds of things in here, but this is just strictly for our version management, right? So yeah, there's that. But yeah, all in all, I hope you found this helpful, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.